Monday, January 13. On this day, India will be the first to provide updates on major economic developments. The report on the Consumer Price Index is scheduled for 2 p.m. The index reflects the change in prices for consumer goods and services in the reporting month. Compared to the previous one, information on prices is collected monthly through a survey of residents of urban areas. Employ in private and public sector enterprises. The growth of the index may have a positive impact on the rupee. The United States will release information on the federal budget balance at 9 p.m. It shows the state budget's total revenue and expenditure balance. The report is based on data from government agencies and Federal Reserve banks. This indicator influences the value of Treasury securities rather than the US dollar. Tuesday, January 14. On Tuesday, traders will keep an eye out for news from Japan. The current account balance, seasonally adjusted, is scheduled to be released at 1:50 a.m. It displays the difference between imports and exports of goods, services, and interest payments during the reporting month. The index's growth may have a positive impact on the yen. The Producer Price Index in the United States will be released at 3:30 p.m. It considers all U.S. industries that produce physical goods, including commodity markets. Several PPI components are used to calculate the GDP deflator. A rise in the Producer Price Index almost always indicates an increase in inflation, which strengthens the US dollar. Wednesday, January 15. The Bank of Japan will release the Money Supply Report at 1:50 a.m. on January 15. This includes cash balances in organizations and households' accounts that can be used to make payments, deposits made with depository institutions, time deposits and savings deposits, and other components with some level of liquidity. Indicator values that are higher than expected can be considered positive for the Japanese yen. At 5:30 p.m., the EIA will release information regarding the change in crude oil inventories. The rise in the number of stocks in American warehouses indicates either a drop in raw material demand or an increase in production. This has a negative impact on global oil prices, but the effect is temporary. To create a downward trend in the market, oil reserves must steadily increase for several weeks in a row. Thursday, January 16. On Thursday, analysts will be focused on Australia with an unemployment report due at 2:30 a.m. The unemployment rate is one of the key parameters used by the Reserve Bank of Australia to determine interest rates for the current period. The lower the unemployment rate, the more optimistic the outlook for the economy, and vice versa. Rising unemployment rates have a negative impact on the Australian dollar. And at 9 o'clock a.m., the UK will release its GDP data. The report compares the value of all goods and services produced in the country during the reporting month to the previous month. The gross domestic product includes all of the costs associated with producing goods and providing services within the country's economy. GDP growth may have a positive impact on the pound exchange rate. Friday, January 17. Eurostat will release the Consumer Price Index on Friday at noon. The indicator depicts price changes for households, which are the final consumers of goods and services. It is a price stability indicator used by the ECB's Governing Council to evaluate the effectiveness of monetary policy. During periods of low inflation, the euro benefits from index growth. The volume of foreign investments in Canadian securities will be announced at 3:30 p.m. Statistics on international transactions include all parties involved in cross-border asset transactions. Such transactions can be carried out by businesses, governments, non-profit organizations, or individuals. The rise in the indicator may cause the Canadian dollar to appreciate in value.